Have you ever had a moment where everything around you looked fine, but you couldn't shake this weird emptiness? Not sadness, not stress, just a quiet sense that something is missing, like you're living a version of life that was designed for you, not by you. You look at your routine, you do what you're supposed to do, you check the boxes, but something's still off. And maybe you've been brushing it off for years, telling yourself you're just tired or unmotivated. But what if you're not? What if you're disconnected, not because you're broken, but because you're trapped in a system that never gave you space to actually choose your own life? This isn't just about habits. It's about waking up to the fact that the story you've been living might not be yours at all. Most people walk around with a mental script running in the background. It tells them who they are, what their worth is, what they should care about, and what they should fear. But if you look closer, almost none of it was ever consciously chosen. You didn't sit down at age 7 and say, "I want to be afraid of rejection," or "I want to chase success to feel enough." You absorbed it from conversations you overheard, from how adults reacted to your behavior, from the shows you watched and the way people looked at you. Slowly, without knowing it, your brain built a version of you that could survive and fit in. But that version might not be true. It's just functional. It helps you navigate the world, sure, but it doesn't help you feel alive. And that's the trap. You reach a point where your life works on the outside, but on the inside, it feels like you're just running a program. And you are. This is why you can feel numb even when nothing is wrong. Why you can feel lost even when your life looks stable. Because you're not connected to the real you. You're playing out a version of yourself that was built for survival, not authenticity. But once you see this, something shifts. You stop assuming that discomfort means failure. And you start seeing it as a sign that your old identity is running out of power. You begin to notice the small choices you've been making just to be accepted, to avoid judgment, to feel safe. And that's the beginning of truth. It's uncomfortable. It's not glamorous. But it's real. And once you taste real, fake doesn't satisfy you anymore. If you're trapped in a version of life that doesn't feel real, you have to ask, what's keeping you inside that fake version? It's not just fear, it's design. The world around you is structured to reward sleepwalkers. You're told you're good when you don't question anything. You're seen as mature when you settle for less and stop asking why. You're called realistic when you abandon your dreams to fit into a system that profits from your silence. And the system is smart. It gives you just enough stimulation to keep you from waking up. Scroll a little, shop a little, work hard, reward yourself, numb out, repeat. And the dangerous part is, it feels normal. Everyone's doing it, so you don't even realize it's a trap. You're not locked in a cage, you're locked in comfort. Comfort that keeps you from asking hard questions. Comfort that slowly kills your curiosity, your creativity, your courage. And worst of all, it makes you afraid of your own aliveness. Because if you started to feel again, like really feel, you'd have to face the truth. You might have spent years living someone else's life, chasing someone else's definition of success, silencing your real self just to be accepted. That's not failure, that's programming. And once you see it, the question becomes, are you going to keep playing along? Or are you ready to start remembering the version of you that existed before you got labeled, molded, and boxed in? The system won't like it. It's not built for free minds, but that's the point. When you finally stop following the script, the world might see it as rebellion, but you'll know it's freedom. Now that you've seen the trap, it's time to ask the most important question. Who were you before the world told you who to be? I'm not asking about your job title, your relationship status, or even your personality traits. I'm asking about that inner voice, the one that got quieter every time you were told to be realistic, the one that screamed when you did something that didn't feel right, but you ignored it to keep the peace, the one that still whispers, even now. You see, you weren't born into this world disconnected. You learned to disconnect. You weren't born numb. You were trained to suppress your feelings. And you weren't born confused. You were overloaded with noise and distractions until your inner compass stopped pointing anywhere. But the truth is, it's still in you. The real you. Unfiltered, untamed, unedited. And every time you sit still and silence the noise, every time you notice what feels wrong instead of brushing it off, every time you feel that tension between who you are and who you're pretending to be, that's not weakness. That's the real you trying to get out. Most people never listen to it. They get used to the static. They numb themselves with noise. They tell themselves this is just life. But you're here, still watching, still listening, and that means something. It means you haven't fully surrendered. It means there's still a part of you alive, waiting to be reawakened. You don't need to invent a new version of yourself. You just need to return to what's already within you, but has been buried under years of noise, fear, expectation, and distraction. The trap isn't built out of chains. It's built out of comfort. A fake life doesn't always feel like suffering. In fact, that's why it works so well. It feels fine. You wake up, go through your day, check the boxes. You smile when people expect you to. You nod even when your soul screams no. It's a life built on autopilot, and the system rewards you for staying in it. You get approval. You get likes. You get just enough pleasure, just enough validation to stop you from questioning anything. But here's what they don't tell you. Comfort isn't always peace. Sometimes comfort is the blanket you pull over your head because you're too scared to see what's actually out there. Sometimes it's the fake identity you hold on to because deep down you're terrified of who you might be without it. And sometimes it's the routine that's slowly killing your spirit, disguised as stability. This fake life doesn't imprison you with walls. It numbs you. It convinces you that being okay is the goal. That if nothing is falling apart, then nothing needs to change. But here's the secret most people never realize. Your soul doesn't want safety. It wants aliveness. Not just survival, but real, conscious, awake living. The kind that makes you feel electric, raw, honest, vulnerable. You, the kind that might feel scary at first because you're not hiding behind roles anymore. But that slowly becomes freeing. Because when you finally stop pretending, stop pleasing, stop following the fake script, there's nothing left to protect. Only truth, only presence, only you. If you've made it this far, there's something in you that's already cracking the surface. A voice that's saying, this can't be all there is. And you're right. See, the reason life starts to feel fake is because, in many ways, it is. Not because the trees aren't real or the people around you don't exist, but because the version of life you've been living was never really yours. It was downloaded from parents, from school, from the expectations you swallowed without realizing, from social media telling you what success is supposed to look like, from a world that rewards surface-level image over depth. So here's the truth. You've been experiencing life but not living it. You've been looking at your life, not in it. This is what I call the simulation layer. You think you're free, but you're trapped in interpretations, in mental loops, in fear of doing something wrong. And so, you stay in line. You hesitate. You overthink. You filter your truth through 100 lenses before letting it out. But real life, it's vivid and scary and beautiful and completely uncertain. And you can't feel it through a screen. You can't access it through approval. You can't live it through someone else's blueprint. You have to step out. It looks like doing something uncalculated, like saying no to something that drains you, even if it disappoints someone. Like finally expressing how you feel without rehearsing it for hours. Like deleting an app that's been stealing your peace. Like waking up and asking yourself, what do I really want today? Instead of, what should I do? These moments, these tiny exits from the simulation, are where the real world opens back up. And when you touch that realness, even just for a moment, everything starts to rewire. Your voice comes back, your senses feel sharper, you stop needing to explain yourself, you start to exist again. Because when you're not living for the image, you finally remember what it feels like to be alive. Before we get into this final piece, I just want to say this. If you've made it this far, that's not random. You didn't just watch a video. You showed up for your own freedom. And that matters more than you know. So if something in you feels this, drop a comment below saying, "I'm not sleeping anymore." And if you haven't already, subscribe and share this with someone who needs it too. Because this isn't just content. This is a wake-up call. Now let's actually get to the last piece. See, the biggest trap isn't out there in the world. It's not your job. It's not society. It's not even your phone. The real trap is inside your head. The part of you that believes you're not allowed to break the script. It's the voice that whispers, "Be careful. Don't mess it up. Stay small. Be good. Blend in." And here's the wild truth most people never realize. You can't escape the fake life by doing more. You break out by unlearning who you were told to be, unlearning the guilt for saying no, unlearning the constant apology for existing. The secret is not in some mountain retreat or $200 book. It's in the next moment you choose to be honest, the next moment you act from your gut, not fear, the next moment you feel the tension and lean in anyway. Because real freedom isn't a place you go, it's a state you remember. And the challenge is this. Tonight, don't distract yourself. Don't numb it, don't scroll, just sit in silence for 15 minutes. No music, no phone, no agenda. Let the discomfort come. Let the thoughts scream. Let the fake layers of who you should be start to fall apart. And just watch. Because underneath all that noise is you, unmasked, unchained, untouched by the lies. That's your real self. That's your exit. That's your freedom. And it's been there the whole time, just waiting for you to see it. Welcome back.